Hey guys, Joshua with Josh and Hunter's Adventures, and welcome back to another episode. Today's video, I'm going over my top 5 baits for spring bass fishing. Spring is the best time of the year to catch your PB. There's a lot of big bass that are moving up on the beds, and that's a great time to catch them. So I want to go over my top 5 baits with you that I like to throw in the spring to try to catch those big bass. Now these are in no specific order, but these are just the ones that I like to throw and that I'm always have on the deck of the boat with me. The first one is a Texas rig. A Texas rig is a great bait during the spring to throw. These baits are just big bass catchers, basically what they are. And this one right here is just a crawl. It's a net bait crawl, you can see right there. And this is just in like a green pumpkin color. It does have a little bit of almost like a chartreuse bottom, but it's mainly a green pumpkin color. And I like to stick to natural colors unless the water's really dirty. And then I'll change it up just a little bit so they can see it a little bit better. But you know, a lot of times in the spring, I'm normally fishing fairly shallow. Shallow meaning 8 foot and probably less, because I'm trying to catch those fish that are either just moving up on that first set before they go onto the beds, or the ones that are going on up into the shallower water to actually go on the beds. And a Texas rig is a great way to be able to flip up on brush or any type of docks where those fish are holding before they're moving up. Make sure that you have a Texas rig tied on in the spring. A next one that I have is going to be a Swimbait. As you guys have seen, if you follow me on my channel, I am a big Swimbait guy. And this bait right here, you can cover a lot of water. That's one thing with a Swimbait, is you can cover a lot of water trying to find those fish. And this one just is a little small 2.8 Kitech on a little small Swimbait head there. And I'll throw that and just sort of work it down the water column from shallower water on out to the boat and deeper water. And this is a big fish catcher. I mean, you'd be surprised on how many fish this little Kitech will catch. And this is just in a chartreuse and blue color. I like that color. It seems to stand out, and they will really hit that, and they hit it really hard. I've caught some really good smallmouth on that color. As you know, smallmouth like odd colors most of the time, so that's something that I like to throw, and it's just something I have confidence in. Now the next bait that I like to have tied on in the spring is a spinnerbait. And anytime that you've got any wind at all in the spring, you know how it is, it's windy. I like to have a spinnerbait tied on. This one is just a shad-like color spinnerbait. It has a gold and silver blade on it, and it's just in like a skirt's just a shad-like color. But I will throw this up around any type of structure, docks, even rocks, or flats in general where they're wind-blown banks that the fish may be sitting up there waiting on bait to come up from the wind and stuff like that. But a spinnerbait is a great search tool also, because you can cover so much water, whereas the Texas rig that I talked about first, it's not, you can't really cover as much water as you can, say, with a Swimbait and a spinnerbait. And the next 2 baits that I'm going to be talking about is you can cover a lot of water with also. Now the next bait is a jerkbait. It is pretty much a staple in the spring. Everybody, you know, throws a jerkbait, and it's a great search tool. It really is. This is a Megabass Vision 110. I like the Megabass. I know they're expensive, but they catch fish. They're probably the best jerkbait on the market. But you can cover a lot of water with this, especially on points. The reason I do this is on points is the fish will move up into that staging area before they go up into that super shallow water, and you're able to catch these fish that are staged up. And you can throw it on flats also, or even you know, rocky areas, any type of areas where the fish may be staging before they hit that spawn. But a jerkbait is definitely one that you want to have tied on. If there's a little bit of wind, it really has the jerkbait tied. You know, it's that time of the year to throw it when it's a little bit windy. Just like with the spinnerbait, it's a search tool. Now our last bait, but definitely not you know, our least favorite, would be our crankbait. It is a great search tool during the spring of the year, because you can cover so much water with it. And I try to keep a natural color tied on unless my water's super dirty. In the spring of the year, you know, you usually have a lot of rain, so sometimes your water does get a little bit muddy. But right now this is just a shad-like color. And I'm going to tell you, two of the crankbaits that I've really liked this year that I've been throwing a lot of is this new Rapala DT8, and then I've been tying on that Rapala Otts Garage, the OG Slim. If you guys haven't checked out the DT8 or the OG from Rapala, be sure you guys go and check out those crankbaits, because they have really performed really well for me this spring. I really have enjoyed throwing them. I've caught some really good fish on them. So like I said, a crankbait, where you're going to fish this is any type of flats, rocky areas. You can throw it around brush, but just be careful. It's not really like a square bill. It doesn't deflect quite like a square bill will off of cover. I mainly throw it on any type of rocky banks or flats where they're staged up, ready to be moved in to the spawning areas. But that's really my top 5 baits for the spring of the year. I think that this is a great time. This is always my favorite time to catch bass, because they're just so active. You know, they're feeding up, they're getting ready for that spawn, they're getting really fat and full of eggs, and it's just a lot of fun to go out and catch them. So I hope these baits help you in going out and maybe catching your PB this year. If it does, go down and leave me a comment and let me know what size you caught this year. I'd love to hear from you. And just tell me, you know, hey, you know, I caught this one and it was a blast. I caught it on this. And I always love hearing from each and every one of you. And if you like this video, be sure you go down and leave me a thumbs up. And if you're new to the channel and you enjoy this content, please go down and hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. That way you know when we put out videos. But until next time, this is Josh for Josh and Hunter's Adventures. Thanks for watching.